Hey there, Aquarius, and welcome to your mid-September reading. We're doing something a little different here. This time, I'm just going to do a simple 3-card spread. I'm calling this Step Back, Step Forward. So it's just going to be 3 cards. The first card will be what you can do to take a step back from a situation you might be in, and don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The middle card will be what can you do if you want to maintain the situation, right? If you want to stick with it, if you're enjoying what you've got. And the last card will be if you want to take a step forward, if you want to move on from something and go into something new, or just get out of a situation or whatever, right? So pretty simple reading. Not going to do any clarifiers for this, and we're just going to pull the whole thing right out at the get-go, but I will be talking about each card sort of individually in more depth than I would normally in like my weekly readings, whereas that's like 4 cards and then 4 clarifiers as well. So we'll be talking a little more in depth here. So thank you for being here, Aquarius. Thank you for coming here. I hope this is going to help you out. I hope this is going to resonate with you. And let's see what we got for you here. So, okay. All right. And here we are. Okay. And that's a hair. Okay, so we've got the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius' card. So you may have Sagittarius in your chart. You might be dealing with the Sagittarius throughout this. You can let me know down below if that's the case, either one of those. We've got the Queen of Cups, and we've got the 5 of Swords here. So I'll just kind of talk about each card, touch on each card here. The Temperance card is about sort of balance and harmony, sort of mixing together things that you have on yourself and on your persons and such that bring in betterment for you, right? Things that you thought wouldn't work together, or things you thought were kind of pointless in your life that you mix together to get something new. That's awesome. So that's great. The Queen of Cups is a mature person. Chances they are female, but Queen of Cups energy, or female energy, masculine, feminine energy is for everyone. So this could be a man as well. But this is a person who's very mature, has a good head on their shoulders, and they're very nurturing and motherly when it comes to your emotions and your feelings, very empathetic and such. And lastly, here we have the 5 of Swords, which can be a card of utter defeat. You know, that may be something you've suffered, or maybe someone you know or someone you're dealing with has suffered recently. It can also be a card of winning at all costs. So we'll start here with the step back with the Temperance card here. What it's saying is if you want to kind of take a step back, it might be a good idea that if you do take a step back from a situation and move back into this sort of like, okay, let's move back and sort of see what can we do here? What is some things that I know or I can mix together to improve this, right? Using knowledge you've gained from this situation you're in presently here with the Queen of Cups, and mixing that together to kind of what can I draw from this? What can I gain from this to help improve this situation that I've been in, and kind of move back into this with more experience, more know-how, all that good stuff to kind of improve this from where we're at now. Could also just be saying kind of, you know, test the waters here with this as well. You might be kind of in that kind of a situation where you're kind of testing the waters, seeing like how people react to things and how you're reacting to things as well. Because you see the angel here has their toes just in the water, like they're testing the temperature just to see if the water's just right. And that could be you, right? That could be you, Aquarius, kind of maybe you need to take a step back and sort of gauge the temperature of the room, right? You know, so that way you're not walking into something unfortunate, right? You kind of be like, okay, you know, it's like, you ever do something where it's like something's going really good for you, and you come in and you're like, hey everybody, things are going great for me, and then you kind of look around and realize everybody's having a really bad day, and they don't want to hear someone gloating about how good a day they're having, right? And you just kind of feel awkward after that. It's kind of that thing, kind of like gauging the temperature of the room, or gauging the temperature of the people or the situation you're dealing with, so that way you don't go in and do something foolish here, right? We've also got the sun in the distance in the mountains here, just saying the sun will rise, like happiness will come if you're willing to like look for it. You're willing to walk this path with this angel, kind of mixing and harmonizing and doing things like that. So maybe taking a step back for you isn't necessarily a bad thing. It might be just like, okay, let's step back, regroup, and then come at this stronger, right? If you want to stay put, though, you can be very much like a Queen of Cups. You can behave like the Queen of Cups. Be very empathetic, very understanding with folks, making sure everyone's sort of in good mental health. Maybe you're dealing with someone, a friend, a coworker, a family member, a partner who really could use a shoulder to cry on right now, right? And maybe presently, to kind of help make sure things are kind of going good or maintain what's going on now, you need to be that person for them, right? You need to kind of empathize with them, sympathize with them, understand what they're going through and help them work through it. And that way you can kind of maintain what's going on with you right now, right? This could be something, and I'll touch on it a bit here with the Five of Swords in a moment, but this could be something where it's a person that, it's like I'm seeing like a relationship is kind of what I'm seeing here. Could be for you where it's like your partner is very kind of, doesn't understand like the way you're behaving or something, or you two just aren't on the same page for some reason. And maybe to get you both back on the same page and get you to where the relationship was before this kind of interruption here, so you can maintain what you had before, is you need to be empathetic with them. You need to sympathize with them, and you need to kind of understand what they're going through, or at least try to be more conscious of it as well, and try not to maybe lash out at them or take it personally when they do something. Maybe they bring their baggage home from work, that kind of a thing. And it's not that they're taking it out on you, it's just you happen to be the person that they can vent to. And they're not trying, and it's not necessarily coming from a bad place. It's not like they're saying it's your fault or something. Unless they do say it's your fault. In which case, that's not your fault. They're having a bad day at work unless you actively went out and sabotaged them, of course. So just something like that, right? If you want to move forward, though, we've got the Five of Swords here, which can be a card of winning at all costs. Like, this could be an argument, right? Where you're, like, if you want to win the argument at all costs, like, you can try and do that and bust out all your tricks and try to make them feel bad and do stuff like that. If that's important to you, that doesn't seem like that'd be important to me, myself. Like, I don't feel like in relationships, to me, winning and losing isn't a thing, right? It shouldn't be like that. You should kind of like not keep score. It should just be, it is what it is, right? Sometimes, you go for a long streak where you're in the right a lot of time and they're being irrational, or it goes the other way where you're kind of being irrational and they're in the right. And, sometimes it happens, or sometimes it's just a mix and match throughout the whole thing. This can also be a card of an utter defeat too. That could be just a breakup, right? It could be just you or them kind of, and because we're doing this for you, it could be you just kind of breaking up with them, right? You just don't want to empathize with them. You've had it up to here, with it, and you just don't want to deal with it. And you're just like, that's it, I'm done. And this could be quite heartbreaking for this person, right? Of course, that's up to you if you want to do that, if you want to move on. Like, this is the move on step, right? This is the step forward. This is move on to something new. This is that sort of a thing for you, Aquarius, here. Is like, maybe you just break up with them and it's just like, well, that's an option. If this isn't working out, you don't feel like you can empathize with them because you don't get what they're going through, or you don't understand where they're coming from emotionally, and you can't sympathize with them, you can't empathize with them. Maybe that's what you need to do, is you need to break up with them and be like, well, you know what, if you're going to behave like that, or you don't understand why I'm being the way I am, or you won't, maybe they won't empathize with you, it's just saying, that's it then, this is over, right? Though I am getting a sense, like, with the Five of Swords here, we have these clouds here, and that's kind of a theme with the Swords cards, is generally cloudiness, because it kind of represents sort of not having clarity and not understanding things fully and not being able to see the true picture of things here. And I feel like if you don't see the 100%, maybe that's why you break up with them. And like, if they're not willing to reveal it and you're not willing to look for it, maybe that's an option for you here. So just what we're seeing here, Aquarius, overall is sort of like, if you want to take a step back from, things and kind of learn and reevaluate and reassess and kind of mix your knowledge of what's been going on and mix it with like your experience and whatever else in your life, and then kind of take a step forward later on, right? Maybe you don't step into the Queen of Cups. Maybe you step into something else with this improvements. Maybe you step into the Sun, for instance, right? That's up to you. And like I said, the Sun is in the distance here. So maybe that is what you're going to step into. Or you can maintain with the Queen of Cups and try to empathize with somebody, or, whether this be a partner or whoever, and try to understand with them that, like, this is, we're trying to empathize, trying to sympathize, and maybe that will help maintain and keep things where they were so that we're not in a bad position here, so that we can kind of keep going the way the good stuff was going before. Or as I said before, you could end up breaking up with them. You can end up in that winning at all costs mode where you're just like, no, I'm in the right? This could be, like I talked about, a partner here, but this could also just be with someone you just know in general. It's kind of like, I told you so. I told you this wasn't going to work out. I told you, right? And just kind of be in that kind of like, a sore winner kind of person, right? And if you want, you can do that, and it'll probably change things for you between you and this person, or you and this situation, whatever that might be. So that's what we're seeing here for you for mid-September here to the end of September, Aquarius. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this has been helping you out. Hope I've given you some options on the table for you. Hopefully this resonated. Hopefully you... maybe you're not going to proceed with one of these, but at least you have some options for you on the table. So thank you so much for being here, Aquarius. I appreciate it so much. If you want to help out the channel, you can leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the video. Check out your sun, moon, rising, and Venus sign videos too after this one. Thank you again so much for being here, Aquarius, and I hope to see you in the next video.